I'm getting ready to try my hand at growing hydroponic sweet snacking peppers and a hot pepper in a mason jar. I am going to be doing this two different ways. I'm going to use the Kratky method and I'm going to use the DeepWaterCulture method. And before I get into that, let me talk about the type of peppers that I'm getting ready to grow. So using dwarf pepper plants from the Kitchen Mini series, I have the Kitchen Mini Fresh Bite pepper plants in orange, red, and yellow. I also have their fajita pepper. I have two of each growing that I have started in this AeroGarden Bounty Basic, and I'll be simply trying to transfer them over into a mason jar. So let's get started. So to get started with this project, to use the deep water culture method, you will need everything that you see listed here. Okay, so for starters, you're gonna need a mason jar. All right, this one is a 32-ounce wide mouth mason jar. You can also use a 32-ounce regular mason jar. However, the difference is if you are going to use this one, you need a 3-inch net cup. If you're going to use a regular mouth mason jar, then grab the 2-inch ones. I don't have any 2-inch net cups to show you. I have the 3-inch, and they fit very well within this wide mouth 32-ounce mason jar. So let's put this one away. All right, so you're going to need the mason jar. You're going to need a net cup. You're going to need something to block out the light. So your plants and their roots will be growing all up in here. When the light hits and there's any moisture around, or the light and the moisture mix, it will form algae. So you need to block out the light. They do have amber colored mason jars that you can purchase on Amazon. You can get these koozies like this that fits on the jar, or you can go and get a brown paper bag and wrap it around the perimeter of the jar, as well as foil. Because this is the deep water method, culture method, you will need a air bubbler or a portable air pump with an air stone at the bottom. I grabbed these for $8.88 at Walmart, and this one in particular uses 2 D-cell battery. If you're going to do it long-term use, you will need one that can just plug into a plug and can run continuously. But for the sake of this project and the fact that I'm giving away some as gifts, I wanted to just grab an inexpensive one with the batteries and give it away. But I do have one that you can plug into the wall, but I won't be using it for this video. And you're going to need something to label so you can know which pepper is what. So grab you something. For me, my my stickers that I use in my hydroponic units, I'm just going to simply stick on this koozie and keep it moving. You will also need hydroponic clay pebbles. Okay, I have some here that's already been rinsed off. Make sure you rinse them off because they do have debris and dirt on them, okay? And you don't want that getting down into your jar. So let's talk about the pump first. I'm going to show you what it looks like when you're using the deep water culture, what this one looks like, because it's battery operated. The batteries is in here, and then you can see this pump. Now, what I like about this particular one, too, you can use it, and it has a slot at the bottom of the box where you can run the tubing through here, so this always stays dry, so it keeps this protected from getting wet. So I thought that was a cool little feature in the packaging. So let's assemble our jar for the deep water culture method. So I'm going to take my mason jar first, and I'm just going to go ahead on and pop it in this koozie because I want to see if it fit. I did not test it out before, and maybe I should have before I told you I was going to use it, but nope, perfect. I got these off of Amazon if I didn't mention it, and that's perfect. So now we see it's closed up and no light can hit the bottom. And what's easy about this is when you want to check the water levels or you want to check the roots of your plant. It fits on there snug, y'all. You can just simply unzip it and pull it down and take a peek at what action is going on inside of the jar. All right, and then next we are going to assemble our pump. So this air stone which will cause the water bubbling, is what needs to go down in here. So I'm going to simply just take my tubing and I'm going to just simply fish it through the bottom. I'm going to pinch the tip and squeeze it. I don't know if y'all can see that. It's not going in it greatly, but oh, it's working. Hold on. Let me see if I can pull it out. All right, y'all, I got action. So it's in here. Now I want to make sure that I have enough tubing out to give me space. So I'm going to simply just drop that air stone in the jar and pull the net cup. And yes, it is still hitting the bottom of the jar, which is good. So I have this much tubing hanging on the outside. But as you see, it's now been thoroughly fished through this net cup. Okay? Then I'm going to hook it up to my pump right here. Now, I know some people use rock wool to place their seedlings. I'm not. I am simply just going to use the AeroGarden pod that is already in there. So let's pick on one to get started with. This one is the biggest, and it is a Fresh Bite Yellow. So we're going to do the Fresh Bite Yellows first. So look at that root, y'all. Look how nice that is. And let's see if we can get that root fished through the hole here. Let's see. Oh, there we go. Perfect. So I got the root, as you can see here, it is coming. So I am going to gently just kind of help it out and guide it through the bottom of this net cup. Okay, y'all see that? So now it's in there, and I am going to stick it down in here. Now, this is going to keep coming up because it don't have any weight on it. And also to block out the light from the top, that is where these clay pebbles come in. And I'm going to start to fill it. Just a little bit to help solidify it. Y'all, I should have taken it out of the house that is in. So I'm going to have to start this project all the way over. Y'all see that? So don't make that mistake. I'm not going to hide nothing from y'all. This was that I forgot to take it out of the cage. So we're just going to try it again. That root still look good in place. So let's just try to get it back in here again. So, all right, bear with me, y'all. I'm going to have to use 2 hands for this. Okay, y'all, I needed a little assistance, so I'm going to grab me a chopstick. And so we're going to do this again because I wanted to go out the bottom of the net cup and not the side like it was trying to go a few minutes ago. So let's see if I can fish it through there using this. It'll be better if I use the right end of the chopstick. Boom, perfect. Get some more in there. It's very sticking to the side of everything. So y'all see I got it back down in there, and I'm just going to give it another gentle, not a tug, but very gently pulling it down in there so that it can feed off that water solution. Now it has multiple roots. You can just take your chopstick or whatever you use that can help you stick it down in there and feed it through there. Okay, now voila. Y'all see it? See if I can scoop that back. Y'all see it just fished through the bottom of the cup. All right, now, because I jumped the gun the first time, we're going to use one hand to hold it up and use the other hand to put these clay pebbles down. Boom. So don't make that mistake that I did with the cage. And then also, too, like I was saying, a lot of people use rock wool. For me, I'm just going to use the cage they came in. I mean not the cage, but the AeroGarden pod that it is in. I don't see no harm in that. So all right, so now I have it in here. I have it's fished all the way down. Ooh, let's get it up. Y'all see this net cup is full of those pebbles. And this was the yellow one. You can kind of push this down. I want this sponge to come down just a little bit more, so I'm going to put some weight on it. And voila. All right, so I think they work. Okay. Now I'm going to smack one of these labels on there, and I'm going to get the nutrition for the plant. All right, so I wanted to use the other mason jar to show you all where the water should be. Okay, so you're only going to fill up this jar. These both are the same size. You only want 3/4 of water in there. Okay, so if you look on the milliliter side, it is just shy of that 600. This is 800 total, so it's just a little bit more than that 400, just a little bit shy under the 600, but it's over the 5. So I wanted about 3/4. Okay, it filled. Now, the reason for this, you do not want too much water in your jar. These plants have what is called air roots. Those air roots cannot get wet or you will drown your plant out. Okay, so that's very important. So that's why I wanted to kind of use another mason jar to show you and didn't want to pre-fill it first. Kind of wanted to just talk through about it. So, and then also too, whatever your favorite method of feeding your plants, whether that's with a syringe when you gather in your nutrients or a measuring cup, go ahead on and measure out roughly 2 milliliters. So for this one, I'm using the Fox Farm, and for a general feed is 10 milliliters per gallon. I'm not going to use the 10 milliliters. This is not a gallon. This is not even the full 32 ounces. So I did the math and it came out to be 1.88. I'm not going to measure that out on a syringe. I'm just going to go up to 2 and watch it for this very first experiment. Okay, so let's get the 2 milliliters out. All right, so now I got my 2 milliliters and I am going to just put that into the water. I'm going to use that same chopstick I used to feed that down and kind of mix it in with the water. So now my hydroponic solution is ready and my plant is ready to be fed. So I'll simply just take this up, pour my water down in there, my hydroponic medium down in here. Pop it back. And let's turn on my pump. Oh, it got a lot of bubbles in there. Let's see if I can move the camera so y'all can see. Okay, y'all, so let's now talk about the Kratky method. So the Kratky method is virtually the same thing, except it is done without the air bubbler. So no air pump is needed for this one. So I got my wide mouth mason jar. I have my 3-inch net cup. I have my hydroponic solution that I'm going to feed the plants, and I'm going to give it 2 milliliters of this. Let's go ahead and do that now. So I got my 2 milliliters of feeding. Pop that in the water, and then we started off with the fresh bite yellow. Let's get the second fresh bite yellow and assemble this one. So this one is the Second Fresh Bite Yellow. And y'all see it got a very beautiful root system to it. Now, the only thing that I wish I would have done differently is that I actually would have shortened these pods because they stick kind of up out of this net cup. It's a little taller than it. And I'm worried about algae getting around the top surface of it. So let's not make the same mistake that I did just last time. Let's go ahead on and gently ease it up out of the cage. And y'all see this root here at the bottom is not really growing into this. So I'm actually just going to break a piece off of there, and there's nothing in it, as y'all can see, which is a good clean break and not part of that main rooting system. And let's see if we can get this one to fit down in the cup a little bit better than the other one. So there is no fishing of no nets. They are just going to simply, their water is just going to, those roots are going to simply just go down into this water. And now we're going to fill it with our stones. This is going to help to keep the weight of the basket from floating up. It also helps keep this sponge in place. All right. So fill it up to the top. And what I'm thinking about doing is either taking some more of these labels and sticking it around the surface of the plant, or just getting a little bit of foil to block it out. But now we have this filled, and we're just going to simply pop that in the water. And that is the Kratky method, okay? That is as simple as that for that. And let's not forget our koozie, because it still works the same way. You do not want this exposed to light, or you'll see a whole bunch of green algae on there. Now the algae, just to make sure y'all, in case I didn't show y'all, that root is fished through there. It just has a shorter root. That shorter root will still seek out that water as it grows. But that algae is not very sightly. You don't really want that. It's not going to look very good to see it. It will not hurt the plant though. But I have heard some schools of thoughts that say it does compete with the plant for nutrients. I don't know how big of a competitor it is. I don't know how true it is. This is my first time doing this, period. And I'm doing it live right here on camera. So y'all can see whatever mistakes I made, don't y'all do it. And so, again, there you go. That's the Kratky method. Easy peasy. Now what I'm going to do is sit both of these. Let me grab the other one. Let's make some space. This one with the pump. Okay. Y'all see here, move pump, where that sponge is sticking out because it's taller than the net right here. And you can see this one is down a little further because I cut some of their root off. I think I'm going to go ahead on and add some foil. So y'all hold on. I'm going to add some foil to the tops of these. So actually I decided to use a sticky because the sticky has a aluminum like top to it. And it's already got a hole in it. So I just turn around with some scissors and cut it. So I'm just going to like come around, move a few stones out of the way. And you could do this before, but like I said, I'm learning with y'all. And just kind of place it on the plant like so, to cover the top of this sponge up where it is moist and where it has had nutrients before, and kind of get that placed on it. They don't want to bend, but that's okay. That's what these pebbles are for. And I don't care about the pebbles doing it. So I just want to get it on there. And for the future ones that I'll do, I'll go ahead on and put that foil around it. There you go. All right, so you see how it's covered up with the foil and the rest of the stones. That little bit of pocket is there. It's fine because I don't want to inhibit the root, the plant from growing. But I'm going to do that for both of these. So you can use your sticky labels from your hydroponic system, so you can get some foil. Just kind of block out that light, because I just don't want algae all over the place. It's a mess. One time I was fooling with these plants and did not realize I had algae all over the back of my hand. and smeared it all down my shirt and had it all over the machine. It was a mess, y'all. So don't do that. Instead, pre-wrap them. So let's see how to get in here. This one got a lot more leaves and stuff to it than that one. Let's try to slip it on. Just move some of these pebbles out. You can just sit the pebbles right on top of it. And so that one is on. Fold it down a little bit more. I'm not gonna do all that. Actually, boom. All right. Making more hard work for myself. I don't have to do this. So both of them got a little foilish cover on them. This one is because it has this cover here. I mean, this piping here. You can just simply cut it so that way it can lay a little better. There's actually the stuck and adhere to the tubing, which is fine. So there you go. The DeepWaterCulture method. Turn it on so you can hear that pump. Boop. And you have the Kratky method without a pump. All right, y'all, last but not least, you want to sit these babies under some light. I'm going to let them catch the residual light of this AeroGarden Bounty system. And so you'll see them, I placed them here beside my cucumber plant and let them catch their light. And you see the Kratky method in the front here. And you see the DeepWaterCulture method in the back. I am going to go and assemble the rest of my 8 jars. And I thank y'all for being here and listening to me and watching me make mistakes as I build this project with you all. Appreciate it. Have a good one.